Welcome to Handforged, True Grit Journeys to Success. Here's your host, master craftsman turned entrepreneur Frank LeBlanc, uncovering the stories and tactics of builders, makers, and self-made pros who prove there's more than one way to win. Let's get to work.
Glad we finally made this work. It's cool we're doing it at the beach.
Yeah, this is awesome. Welcome to my office.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of talk to Greg a little bit about the event. This is how Greg makes his living. He organizes these events. He does some sculpting. He's been on beautiful beaches all over the world and was actually like an inspiration for me for starting my business. When I had first started American Pride, Greg was playing in sandboxes all over the world. And I was like, if he can do it in sand, I can do it in wood. And, kind of was the leading factor of me starting American Pride.
Yeah, dude, we were in the basement chiseling away. I was starting really getting at this thing, and we inspired each other. We kept, at that time, we were both really, pushing outside and just wanted to get into something we love to do.
Yeah, remember when we were carving wood in the basement in Hampstead, dude?
Yeah.
Like listening to fucking Pink Floyd and shit?
Franklin and Greglin going to
I remember that.
getting to it,
Yeah, that was cool, man. So I guess tell me a little bit about, like, how did you get into this, man? How did you get into the sand world?
So, here we are, first day of carving, Hampton Beach Sand Sculpting Classic. It's the 25th anniversary, 25 years. This is founded and organized originally from my father. This event here, he was pushing, late 90s to get going, right? And they're like, we have sand sculpture. We have a sand sculpture event, children's festival. They didn't know what they didn't know. U.S. Mint commissioned him to do the unveiling of the New Hampshire quarter. And it's sort of, whoa, what's going on here? And it was just that at that point, begging to bring an event, and prior to that, that was my introduction. I was a kid out of high school, to Hampton Beach sand sculpture, but it runs in the blood. We are that typical story, beach vacations, Cape Cod. The old man was down there, instead of sitting there, he had to be doing something with his hands. He would make sand sculpture, and I would sit there all day. Can we break it?
Yep.
And he would laugh about it. I was first a breaker, not a maker.
Yep.
And he was the local legend on the beach. Right? You know what I mean? And we were doing small stuff, just small stuff, but it was cool. One day carves every day, and the internet comes out, right? The 90s, you start looking up stuff.
Yeah.
And my father's like, whoa, people do this, right?
Other people are doing this.
Other people are doing this, at a level that is above him. So he has an interest, he, at this time, he's still running Salem Auto Body. He's got the auto body shop. But he's got another interest, right? And reaches out to a sculptor in South Padre Island, Lucinda,
Texas.
Sandy Feet. He's
spot.
gonna take a Sandcastle lesson, sort of history, right? It's a very tight knit community. I'd say 300 sand sculptors in the world, right? This is a tight knit community. A welcoming community. We're looking for the young sand sculptors to come in, but it's not something that people are coming into. We all know each other. We compete against each other. We hire each other. We bid on the same contracts against each other. But we're looking for the new sculptors.
Yeah.
Here on this beach today, we got a few Canadians, we got some people from around the United States to as far as Hawaii, we got 2 Russians, we got a Latvian, they're from all over the world here today.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Like, if you're from fucking Russia, you find out about this event, will you fly over for the event?
So, yeah, invitational here only. You know what I mean? We're a top tier event. As an organizer, a sand sculpting organizer, this is what I do full time. I want to treat these guys like I want to be treated. That was something that, G1, my father, established from day one. You know what I mean? Going back, like we were saying, in that early 90s, it was party, carve, party, right? It wasn't a business at this point. Few people were starting to trail off. The American sand sculptors are doing cartoons and SpongeBob and angels and mermaids and castles. And then all of a sudden, this European flair hits it. You know what I mean? A few Americans go out to the Netherlands and they started bringing in these art students and it took off. You know, they're trained artists, and that really influenced us here. You know, just there's a world championship that used to exist in British Columbia, and they started going there, and it just, you know, it transformed. And the level, just in the 25 years here, the level of sand sculpture just goes up, up, up.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not doing this, you can't keep up, you know?
Yeah, I've been involved in this for a long time. Like, me and your brother used to come down here and be security, you know, back in the day. And like, I've been around it for a while, man. And, you know, just from when I came in, seeing it now, like, the difference is incredible in the art form. Yeah. Like, you did one of my favorite pieces. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Which one?
With the, I forget what the name of it was. It was the one you dedicated to your brother.
Yeah. Belief,
yeah. Incredible. You know, and that's like an artistic flair on all this stuff, because like, people think like sand sculpture, think sandcastles, you know, fucking bucket, and like, you know, most people don't know that, like, you know, this is like an art form. These are like professional artists that are like doing this shit in sand against a clock, like, just so cool to me, man.
It's funny, you know, I mean, Hampton Beach, right? It's popular New Hampshire destination, staycation, vacation, right? Like, I mean, people come, but we still get people that have never seen sand sculpture. We have loyal fans here. These people know the artist. They can tell the styles of, oh, that's a Abe Waterman piece. That's a Mélange Beauregard piece. You know, that's Justin Gordon over there. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, they've grown to know, but you still get every year.
Yeah.
Like, the people, oh, it's not finished, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden they start watching, they're like, wow, this is pretty amazing, you know, what you guys do, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, I was that guy that was like, wow, hanging around my dad, you know, he's get the circuit. I'm pretty amazed by it. I'm the young kid, I'm the muscle, I'm the security, right? I'll help out, I'll jump in wherever, you know, I want to be a part of. But I didn't see myself as a sand sculptor.
Right.
Like, that
I didn't see that either.
Like, you know, it was like I'm here for the party, right? And what happened for me is, right, like, you know, I mean, you know what we were like as kids, right? Like, you know, direction, which way am I going? Like, you know, I always want to be involved in something, doing something. I really didn't have a direction, right? So, and I joined the military right out of high school, just sort of to do something, you know. And that was good for a while until I came back home.
Right.
You know, and it was like, what's the directions? And I got back involved in the event and whatnot, and helping out. And one of the sculptors here, you know, the Lapierres, Mark and Michelle Lapierre, brought me in. You know, just like my father brought Mark in. You know, it's a funny thing. You know, we're second generation. His second generation sculptor. He brought me into Quebec City for a summer, and he's just get into it, you know. Usually I'm just laying out the logos, this and that at that time, you know. That's 2007, 2008, 2009, in that area. And I had a taste of it, right? And I was like, all right, I can do this. And I'm being paid to do this. And I'm being flown somewhere, and I'm being put up. And I'm like, all right, so where's the next one, guys, you know? And that's sort of how it started for me, right? And then all of a sudden my dad realizes, oh, my son's a little more valuable. You know, and it's gone to the point where, you know, I mean, it's backbreaking work. He's just logistics now, basically consultant for me, helping out.
Yep.
You know, he's never going to walk away from this event.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, we've been hearing it for, 20 years. I'm done. All right, we'll make 25. We're at 25, and he's going nowhere. Yeah. This is just his thing, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't walk away from this, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So talk a little bit more about like that journey, man. So you went out there, you started kind of getting into sand, and then what have you done? Like, where have you gone? Like, what are some cool jobs that you've done, and in what places?
You know, I mean, so it's been a journey, right? You know, and from back when, you know, me and you were sculpting wood, and I was working odd jobs and trying to stay afloat, trying to keep my life together.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden a sand sculpture job would come up, and it's like, whatever else I was doing, I'm taking off. Yeah, you know, and it was sort of crazy, but that's what I did. You know what I mean? And partly for the paycheck, partly for the good time, partly because it was something I loved to do.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't help myself. Like, it was just like, sorry guys, I'm out.
I'm out.
You know, and I've evolved, right? Like, I mean, like, I'm someone that this is what I do. You know, I've been around the globe, you know, from Japan to the Middle East to, you know, Richard Branson's private island in the BVI, Mexico, all across the States, Canada, doing sand sculptures for every type of event imaginable. And that's one of the beauties of what I do. I get a phone call. I don't know what they're asking for.
Right.
You know, like, what's next? You know, like, and this, you know, competition, like, this is just a part of it. People think this is what we do. No, these are full-time sand sculptors. You know, from weddings to festivals to fairs to grand openings to corporate marketing to you name it. You know, I mean, like, you can do it with sand. It's the awe of it, you know, this wow. We've all played in the sand, 8 to 80. Everybody's dug their feet in the sand, made a hole, you know, let the ball drop, packed something up for the kids, buried the kids and made a body. We've all done it, you know, and then when you see this level of it, it's just like, you know, so it's one of these things, you take the photo, Seacoast cabinet, bang, it's out there, you know what I mean? It's out there. So it's a great marketing tool, it's great entertainment, you know, it's great for the community, you know, cultural exchange. There's so many great things about it, and we love doing it, you know?
Yeah, how can you not love doing it, dude?
Yeah.
It's so cool. As far as like sponsorships for these events, right? So, I mean, obviously I'm a sponsor. I've been a sponsor for a few years. My favorite thing to sponsor.
We love having you.
It's one of my favorite things to sponsor. It is my favorite thing to sponsor. I don't know anything else that I like sponsoring better than this event. It's just cool when my logo gets done in sand like that. It's just like so badass to me. So as far as like sponsorship goes, like, you guys open it up to different sponsors for these types of events. And you know, what's that process look like? Like, say somebody did want to get in for like next year's event, how would they do that?
Every event is its own beast, right? You know what I mean? Like, we just came from, you know, we've been here. I wear the organizing hat, right? Like, I'm not sculpted anymore. When I first started, I was competing out here. I'll add some stuff into the sponsor site, you know, and just, but here it's straight up organizing, and we do it all soup to nuts, you know, from the brochures to the sponsorship, you know, to the t-shirts, to the, you know, bringing in the sculptors. I mean, we do it all here. You know, 2 weeks ago we were down in Rhode Island, Atlantis Rising, you know, and we're setting the bar with a new type of festival there. It's a festival, you know.
Yeah, that's a cool event
We're
too.
under a tent, you know. It's
I went down to the first year, I think it was.
It's been hugely successful. We've changed locations. We're at a new venue, beautiful in Integret Park. You know what I mean? We outgrew that place.
Yeah.
Like, there just wasn't enough parking, you know, and you know, you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
You know, and they came, and this year was our third year, and we're working with the South County Tourism Council down there. You know what I mean? So they take care of sponsorship there. Here, we do it, you know, contact us.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, reach out.
You know, NH Sand Sculptors at AOL.com. The old man's still running AOL, but he'll take care of you, you know.
Might be dying, but it's fine.
Yeah, he's got you, you know. So, and you know, we start at 2,500 value as a gold sponsor. You know what I mean? And tons of perks. You know, you're in the brochure, on the website, the live beach cam, this, that, and another.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So as far as like, say somebody was like, man, I've always loved playing in the sand. Like, I've always been that guy that like builds the sandcastles and stuff. Like, how would somebody get started? Like, if somebody wanted to do this for a living, they wanted to be a professional sand sculptor, like, where do they start?
There's a lot of different avenues, right? Like, a lot of people think it's my story. Like, grew up on the beach and, you must have been playing in the sand since you were a kid, you know? It's not playing in the sand. You know, I mean, we say it's playing in the sand.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. You know what I mean? Yesterday, these guys were out here off the clock pound up. You know, you see them ripping off their forms. Those are 14 tons of sand that they piled up, shoveled it, you know, packed it. Some of these guys were out here 12 hours yesterday, you know, packing their sand. And girls, guys and girls. You know, Melanage Bora got up there. I've seen her, you know, shovel up 10 feet in the air and drop it in a 2x2 box, you know, a bucket of sand. We got Abe Waterman down there who's standing 14 plus feet tall right now. Like, it's pretty incredible, you know, what's done to get involved. Show up at an event, you know, reach out to some sand sculptors, you know, put a little portfolio together. We do lessons down here, you know, come in and do a lesson, say you want to help, volunteer, shovel, there's lots of different ways. There's a kid right now that, like I said, there's not a lot of new people coming into this, but there's a kid breaking into it, in his 20s, and he's working for a company, like mine, out on the West Coast, and just doing social media, right? And he's a young kid, he knows the social media game, like he's doing these little videos and blows up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's at the events, we're all quirky people out here. He fits right in,
Right.
like, all right. And then he's at the next one. And not only does he like his social media game, but he loves sand sculpture.
Yeah.
And like, he's evolved just watching him, and like, me and him message each other now, we're buddies. He's telling me, you got to do this, Greg, on your social media. I'm like, yeah, all right. But one thing at a time. So
yeah, that's cool, man. So I know that like my sons and even me have come and helped like shovel sand and just help with the events. Like, is that a good way? Like if a young kid was like, hey, this seems like something cool, like I want to come down and just
It's hard
help.
to get the shovelers these days. Your boys, have been awesome. I do have some regulars who just like to be a part of it, right? Help out. And then there's people like Devin, he's down here, he's shoveling, he's working, and then he's over in the corner packing up a thing and trying it out. And that's it, right? Like somebody's a little interested, they try it out. Hey, can I borrow a tool, and these people will show you, like how to do it. I will show you, you come down, you just say you want to get involved, shoot me an email, greg.grady82@gmail. A lot of sand sculptors, their niche is lessons. The unfortunate thing for me is our sand isn't good enough to do lessons. We import this sand, some beaches, in Florida, Texas, like, their playground is workable sand. Like,
Right.
I can't really pack this sand up and show you how to do it. It wouldn't be a fair lesson on what to do.
Right. Yeah, so if you were going to do that, you'd almost have to truck in sand just for that.
Yeah, truck in sand. And people, we've gotten calls, hey, can you drop a pile of sand at my house and show me how to do this? And we've done it, you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
cool.
So, but my aunt, it's a family thing. She's over there. She's been doing lessons for us for maybe the whole time we've been doing the event.
No way.
And she's great. You know what I mean? She gets a hand-on experience, feel the sand, get involved, come day of, sign up. It is limited spots during this event because everybody wants to try it out, but we get people who are interested, right?
Yeah.
And then slowly, year after year, there's people that have come down to this event that are involved in the sand sculpting community,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And you've done snow, you've done ice.
Snow, ice, pumpkins, I'll do some foam.
Pumpkins, I forgot about that, dude.
Foam, I'll do anything, but like sand is my business, is really the true love of what I like to create.
Yeah.
I play around with clay. I love wood. I wish I had more time to do that, but it's just this is the focus. I've been running right now since March. March is the start of the season. I let winter slow down, family now and stuff. I've settled down, I'm a little bit mature, and dedicate some time.
Bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So slow in the winter. If there's something that's worth my while, I'll do it. But I have the business in a place where I know my annual clients, I know my annual jobs. I can pick and choose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is nice. You know what I mean? And it's because we do a good job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want to, somebody wants a sand sculpture, I want to exceed their expectations.
Yeah. Or if they want an event, you want to.
Exactly. And love doing events. Ultimately I want my own event. I have some visions, down the road of what we're gonna, do here in New Hampshire or New England area, but
How many people does this event bring to Hampton? They must have that number somewhere, right?
yeah, it's hard to tell. You know what I mean? Just in 2 hours, People's Choice voted on Saturday. We've had up to 7,000 people run through here and vote. And what is the event, right? Like, this is a free public event funded by the Village District and our sponsors, which is incredible. That doesn't happen in sand sculpture. This is one of the last event. You know what I mean? They're ticketed events. You're paying to come in. So I mean, from the beginning to the end, we definitely 100,000 people that go through here,
Yeah.
easy. I mean, that's never mind what's on the beach, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just passing by, but so
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
crazy.
hard number to gauge.
What about like the Rhode Island event? That's Atlantis Rising?
Yeah,
Rising?
first year we had over 25,000 people.
Yeah.
First year event. Second year I think it was 32,000. We haven't got the numbers of the third, but we shut down Route 1. We had a quarter
shit.
mile line.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was.
You think pushing like 50?
I mean, that's a big number.
Yeah.
It's easy to say 50, but that's a big number. But we definitely are growing.
Yeah.
Growing in a way we want to that makes South County down there
Yeah.
super happy and want to keep the event going.
Yeah, makes sense. So how can people like follow what you're doing and stuff? Social media?
Instagram, it's just _sculpture. On my Facebook, professional sculptures by Greg Grady. I try to keep up with it, and then my personal page and stuff.
Yeah.
And you get involved in so many assets to the business, and it's me and my dad. So we get involved. But I have people like down here. We bring somebody in who does the photos and whatnot, keep the event page going and whatnot. So.
Yeah, it's good. I feel like that's important.
Yeah, the Hampton Beach Sand Sculpting Classic Facebook page,
Yeah.
follows this event from day one.
Yep.
On sand coming in,
Yeah.
exactly who's coming. Send us a message there. We're also, on top of that page.
Yeah, that's cool, man. All right. So one thing, what's your favorite job you've ever done? Wait, are you still competing?
Yeah.
You still competing?
2 first places this spring. Yeah. It's
What's your favorite event? Like what, if you had to pick one out of all the events you've done?
I don't have a favorite, I don't have a favorite event. People are like, oh, what's your favorite event? What's your favorite sculpture? For me, like really it's part of sand is being in the moment, right? Like
Yeah.
we love being in the moment. We go on those hikes, you're in the moment. You're going up the, you know what I mean? And it's like that with sand sculpture. You're in it, right? People are like, well, how can you do this? And they take them away. Like for me, it's
Part of it.
about doing this. It's not about like, I get one picture and I'll walk away and that's it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I and then it's job security.
Yeah, if they take it down, you gotta make another one.
We'll be back.
I like that. Cool, man. All right, well, I don't want to eat up a bunch of your time. I know you're busy over here and shit. But thank you, man. Glad we were able to do this.
I'm glad you came down. You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
awesome. I love you supporting the event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's great to have friends that have been doing this a long time, support it and everything. So
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
cool to go from being security to being a sponsor.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, man. All right, well, I think that's it for now. We're gonna probably interview a couple of sculptors while we're here, talk to some guys or girls, find out where they're from, what they do, that type of stuff, and kind of keep this thing going.
I like it.
But I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome.